What's up, guys? Welcome to the 20th episode of Beside the Point. Thank you, guys. I'm Zach from the Hardcore Casuals, and with me today I have Chip Daniel.
Hey, what's up?
And Matt Milligan.
It's been a pleasure.
Two very good friends of mine. We're here today. Well, first of all, before we start in, how are we doing, guys?
Hey, will you silence your fucking phone? We're filming
very
right now.
Sorry. You guys can go ahead and do that as well.
Aren't you supposed to be the host here?
I am supposed to be the host. You're right. I'm
I
sorry.
don't have to worry about my piece of shit.
How are we, guys? Thanks for being on. How are we doing? What's good with life?
Things are all right.
Yeah. Things are going
Just
good.
all right?
Had some PF Chang's for dinner. No complaints here.
Mm-hmm.
Me and the roomies cooked some chicken and mac and cheese. It was fantastic.
Sounds really good, too.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds really good. PF Chang's, man. I always get that confused with Panda Express.
Very different, my
Yeah,
friend.
well,
but
yeah,
not as
yeah.
different as you'd like it to be.
Right. Well, they're both Chinese food.
Those shitty Chinese food places.
Right.
That's right.
Okay, well, so it sounds like all of our lives are pretty good at this point.
They're really boring and shitty.
We also saw a film.
Yeah.
Yep.
Some of us have seen it one or two times.
Well, haven't all of us technically seen it once?
2 or 3 times, I was going to say, but, I don't think any of us have seen it 3 times.
Not yet.
That film being set in a galaxy far, far away. Star Wars The Last Jedi. Thoughts, opinions? Now, before we get into The Last Jedi, Force Awakens, the first of the new rebooted trilogy.
Yeah.
What do we think of that one?
I was sorely disappointed in it because it was just a remake
Of The Last Hope?
of
A New Hope, I mean.
Yeah.
And,
Of episode 4.
right.
And, everyone was talking up, oh, my God, they've done so much, and it's so great, and I was really stoked on it, and I finally went and saw it, and I was just like, man, I've seen this movie before.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't hate it. I thought it was fine. I understand the problems with all the kind of similarities with A New Hope.
Mm-hmm. See, a lot of people thought they were just going to do that again with this one, with Empire Strikes Back.
I wasn't saying that I hated it. I thought they could have done something better.
Right.
I didn't have a problem with it, really. And I think The Force Awakens, for me, left a lot to be desired in character development, which I'll touch on a little bit more. We'll talk about that other one that I just saw.
What about Rogue One?
Loved Rogue One.
I loved Rogue One. I
See,
thought
everybody
it was
says
great.
that. I fell asleep in it.
If you watch
I
Rogue
watched it
One
a
and then
little
go
bit
straight into A New Hope, very cool, my friend.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Very
cool.
Definitely, I mean, not to get too spoily here, but definitely out of the new 3 films that we've gotten so far, I thought Rogue One did the best job of being a new story, but also holding true to the old films.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's incredible how much it actually looks like A New Hope, some of the sets and the costumes and whatnot. Very, very cool.
Although CGI Tarkin was fucking horrifying.
It took me out of the theater. I did not think it was necessary, and everybody's saying that it was a great feat, and talking about how much money it costed. I was just like, go kill yourself.
Well, yeah, you can talk about how great of a feat it was, but we've already had fucking hologram Tupac.
That's true.
I don't need CGI Tarkin.
They should have put hologram Tupac in Rogue One.
That would have been
cool.
awesome.
That would be cool. What did I hear the other day? I heard, that Tupac Shakur actually, somehow they wanted Tupac to be Mace Windu. Have you guys heard
Yeah,
that?
I know. He was originally up to be Mace Windu, and then he died. But, yeah. Also, another fun fact, Michael Jackson was originally slated to play Jar Jar Binks.
Where did you hear that?
No, that is true. And the best part about it, too, is that George Lucas decided to, give Michael Jackson a big fuck you. And he went to a Michael Jackson concert and brought the actor that got Jar Jar Binks, that stole Jar Jar Binks away from Michael Jackson, backstage with him. And Michael Jackson was super cold to this guy, and this guy was a huge fan of Michael Jackson, and he walked off, and the guy was totally confused, and apparently George Lucas just thought it was hilarious.
What a dick.
Hear that, kids? If you play Jar Jar Binks, you get to go to free Michael Jackson.
That's true. That's very true. But all right, let's dive into The Last Jedi. Now, I want to hear your opinions without going into the movie first, just so people know that if they haven't seen the movie, that they can kind of either stop here or
So spoiler
see
free.
the fucking movie. Yeah, spoiler-free opinions.
Don't go into it setting the bar extremely
Did you
high.
like it? Well, did you like it at first?
Your personal view.
I'm mixed. I'm very mixed.
What did you like about it?
Well, I can't talk about that without spoiling shit.
Just give it a rating. 1 out of 10.
4.
4.
Out of 10?
That's a little low. I feel like I would have given it
a hard 4.
I like where you're going there.
So are you close to that?
No, I was gonna go for like a 6.5, but yeah.
I'm going 6.5. I think.
I'll go 4.
You want to take it all the way down to 4?
All the way down to 4.
After seeing it for the second time. See, I probably started out.
We got a lot to talk.
I started out probably at a 6, and seeing it the second time, we'll give it a 0.5.
I don't know. There's a lot that I didn't enjoy. I mean, you heard me. I audibly sighed during like multiple points in the movie. Sorry, people, not trying to spoil things, but just don't get your hopes up.
All right, well, let's just go ahead and dive into this.
Yeah, can we go into the spoiler part?
We can. Yeah, okay.
Let's do it like chronologically too. So let's start off with the beginning of the movie. We're just getting out of the
Exactly.
To all of those watching right now who haven't seen it, we're about to just spoil so much shit for you. So
all right. Let's try to try not to jump around the movie though. So from the very beginning, I thought the first fight scene was pretty cool. The X-wing, Poe.
We open with the X-wing.
That was pretty badass.
Yeah, except for the part whenever he like makes the "your mom" joke.
Yeah, the prank phone call.
Yeah, that was so cringy.
It was weird. It was not.
Well, no, I was just sitting there and I was like, so like, when did they get fucking Star-Lord to be in the movie? Like, that's what that felt like to me. And also, I was really going back whenever you were saying like people were worried that they were just gonna remake Empire Strikes Back with the opening crawl whenever it was like, and now their base is under attack.
Yeah.
I was like, I swear to God, if this fight is on a snow planet, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it.
It was a creative opening.
It was cool. Yeah,
and
I enjoyed it.
I've never seen it. I think besides, no wait, which one was it? I think besides
The Point.
No, besides episode 3, I don't think
promotion.
there was a Star Wars movie that's open with a space battle, so that was cool.
That was
Like a major space. I mean, I
major
guess
space battle.
that was
technically
the
episode
Sith,
4
Revenge of the
opens-
Sith, was it not?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
so
number 3.
And so Anakin and Obi-Wan were.
Something that I thought was really cool, bringing up Revenge of the Sith, about the opening fight scene was how they had the Jedi Starfighters in there. Like, it wasn't just like the ships from the original trilogy. They had like the actual like Jedi. There was a Jedi Starfighter in there, and it was pretty cool.
That's dope.
Where?
I like that kind of stuff.
Was it flying?
Yeah, the the chick was piloting it.
Or was it like?
Was it flying?
Or was it like in a or was it in a hangar bay?
No, it was flying. It was flying. And they did.
Was there a Jedi flying
of,
it though?
They did a lot of really neat callbacks, which I'll touch on later. And they did it in like a tasteful way, but then there were some callbacks that they did that just beat you over the head, and it was like, God damn it.
Okay, so we're opening up with the space fight scene, and we're getting some A-wing action. We haven't seen the A-wings in the new trilogy, I guess is what you'll call it. What did you guys think about General Hux in those first opening scenes?
You might need to lean in a little more.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so yeah, that was one thing I wanted.
That's the
which one was
orange
General
hair.
Hux?
General Hux
guy?
is
Orange slicked hair,
the
the
prank
ginger?
call guy, pasty guy. He's the
Okay. Was he in The Force Awakens?
and he actually had a pretty. He kind of gave that Hitler-esque speach before Starkiller Base.
Okay, see that really sums up how much I really paid attention to The Force Awakens, because I didn't remember him at all.
Well, they kind of he wasn't a bad character at all, but I feel like they kind of just turned him into this slapstick punching bag for the rest of the movie, like.
Oh yeah, they definitely did.
Which I didn't really agree with. The humor.
It was almost like
set the tone.
It was almost like South Parky whenever he was like the pasty guy with the red hair. Is like,
Yeah.
aren't you just gonna call him a ginger and tell him he has no soul?
Why isn't he firing him? This is supposed to be like a very, very threatening kind of militant.
And he's just sitting there. He's like, no, I'm here. And like the whole that whole prank call was just.
And while we're on this subject too, I just want to throw this in here. I still have no idea what is going on. Like, what is the Resistance? What is left of the Republic? Like, how is First Order, who just had their major superweapon blown up, attacking the Republic?
Right.
Well,
it seems
well,
like
the
there's
thing
like
is that
60 people in the Republic at this point.
Yeah,
But
well,
no, there's got to be all sorts of different planets in this Senate.
yeah, but see, the thing is that in The Force Awakens, the capital system was completely wiped out by Starkiller Base.
That makes sense.
And that was like the catalyst for the whole war starting
I
again.
still would have liked a little bit more clarification in that regard.
That's fair.
Okay, so then we keep moving. You got the bombers coming in, and they're trying to, Poe's ignoring orders and being Poe.
Being a jackass.
Which giant fucking blimps,
Yeah.
with all the bombs
With
that
all
did
the
not
bombs
seem
in 'em.
fit
Yeah,
for,
okay,
fit
no,
for
okay,
war. Why
that's
is it fucking
something
slow?
that's
With one little
something-
gun at the bottom.
That's something I had a question about. How how did the bombers digress in like how effective they were between the original trilogy and this one?
That's what I'm saying.
You know, because the Y-wings were like relatively fast-ish. I mean, they weren't like as fast as the X-wings or the TIE fighters, but they could move. Those new ones, it was like World War I blimps.
It was disheartening. I was not a fan of the whatever you call it, the bombers. Okay. So
and also, why do they need all of those blimps? There were probably like 60 or 70 of those blimps where they needed. Their target was this big. Their target was this big.
And here's another question: you're a super advanced civilization that has the ability to travel faster than light. Why are you counting on one person to push a goddamn button to drop all those bombs? Whenever you could literally, you have droids that they.
These aren't valid complaints, though. I mean, it's Star Wars.
I don't.
That does make sense. The droid argument does make sense. Why is piloting a
StarCraft to begin with? Why are they still using fuel? I mean, these are not questions that. I mean, yeah, like the giant ship, their capital ship, is running out of fuel. It's like, do you not have like a nuclear reactor or something? I mean, you're hitting light speed. What gas station are you going with this big fucking huge ass ship?
Yeah.
No, it's Star Wars. I don't really care about those little things. I'm talking more about plot holes. So let's kind of focus on that.
Give us the next one.
Well, the thing that like pisses like the plot hole thing for me in that one is like the chick that has to sacrifice herself to blow up the dreadnought. Mm-hmm. Like, you think that they'd find workarounds for that?
Okay, yeah, that's valid.
Droids could be there.
All right, so we finished this first battle, and Poe's taking it on home, and he knows he's about to get his ass railed for completely disobeying the orders and getting so many people killed. So that's kind of where we're at here. Let's go ahead and move on to the first shot of Oct 2. So we get that first scene with Luke Skywalker. It was the big cliffhanger, literally.
Talking that mic, brother.
It was on the top of a cliff. Mm. It was, and
God, that pissed me off so bad.
That's what. I enjoyed that first scene. But as soon as he throws his lightsaber over the back of his head, that's when I was. Just
here's the thing: is that like we got to move on, so I don't have to jump around. But they actually did a good job with explaining why Luke was so like pissed off. And at first, I thought that they were just making him like Yoda was whenever he ran into Yoda on Dagobah, how he had just gone insane from being alone for so fucking long. Yeah. And I thought that's where they were going with that, but obviously that's not where they go with that. But I felt like they did a good job justifying why he was so like, no.
Right. I was also very disappointed when Rey first gets there. She sees the X-wing under the water there. Never fucking got to see it. I wanted to see it rise up, and Luke return to the fight in that. The X-wing was never utilized at all. You just got to see that one cool shot, and I was like, oh, awesome. I hope I get to see Luke in that X-wing.
Well, that was like one of those cool callbacks.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, I mean, it was awesome.
Another like really, really cool callback for me was whenever like Luke goes onto the Millennium Falcon and those little dice he picks up.
Right. Where did the dice come from?
Okay, those dice were in one shot of the entire original trilogy. Yeah.
Really?
One shot of A New Hope, and then they never show up again.
No way.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. I kind of like that's.
And then they brought it back, and I thought that was like, all right, that's a
what
fun
shot? Do you remember what shot?
It's like the first time they show the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon.
And they're hanging there.
Yeah, they're like dangling there like pimp dice, and then they just go away and they're never there.
Apparently, the dice were I guess those were the dice he used to win his
lucky dice.
Falcon. Yeah,
his lucky
I'm
charm
sure we'll see him again. I'm sure they were like, hey, you should put these dice in The Last Jedi because we've got Han Solo.
Right. It was kind of like the Remembering
the young Han Solo movie, which is a movie that nobody asked for.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I'm really, dude, with all the director trouble in that movie, I'm not super stoked on it. Although I am kind of pumped to see Donald Glover as young Lando Calrissian.
All right, let's move on. We're getting sidetracked here.
That'd be cool.
So here's
it's called beside the point, man.
I mean, that's what
it's
the
fun.
whole point. It's for like conversation.
Yeah. So
conversation.
Come over here.
So which goes to.
Well, also, I wanted to touch on this too because I hadn't talked about this with you guys yet. And I don't know why this irked me so much, but just all the humor in this movie was so fucking weird. It literally blew my mind away. Like, it was a strange movie. Okay, so Chewie's sitting there eating one of these porgs.
I
And
love
he ends
that.
up eating it.
It was so fucked up.
You don't
it's
see
just
him. You don't see
weird.
him eat it. You don't see
No,
him
but
eat
he's
it.
just like,
It's implied. It's
but
implied that he
see,
doesn't
so
eat it.
there's-
it's just fucking weird.
But see, that's Star Wars humor that I'm okay with, because whenever I was talking to my brother about this film, he brought up a really good point. The thing about Star Wars is that, yeah, it has its corny, funny moments, but it's never like funny for the characters themselves. So like, think about it, like all like the prank call. That would have been. I bet Poe was laughing his ass off while he was doing that. Like, to be fair, but in the original Star Wars trilogy, like the shit that happens that is funny is not funny to those characters. Like whenever 3PO gets blown up and Chewbacca has to figure out how to put him back together.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's hilarious, but it'd be horribly stressful for those two characters. So Chewbacca eating the porg would have been like horribly depressing for him, because he's having to stare at these cute little bunny things, like freak out about him eating their brother. And that's, I don't know, it's darkly hilarious to me.
All right, let's keep moving. Okay, so this was another thing that I was thinking about after kind of in between my first and second viewing, but and this is kind of relevant chronologically in terms of time, but they get back to the base. Finn's got this obnoxiously weird suit.
Oh, yeah, that
just
was
leaking
so
water
bizarre.
everywhere.
Yeah.
So he gets back into the story, and this was a character that I didn't have any problems with in the first movie, and I thought him and Poe had a really good dynamic. And this is supposed to be a character we care about. This is supposed to be like one of the central big three of the new trilogy. And what does he do? Our heroic Finn literally packs his bag and is trying to leave again.
He's like, fuck this.
What the fuck is that?
Well, he's justifying it by he's trying to save Rey.
He's just trying to go find.
No, he's trying to
Rey.
save Rey by like attracting her away from it with the transmitter.
Yeah,
because he knows that they're
I
screwed.
just can't get a reading on what any
Lean into the mic.
Yeah, any of these characters actually stand for. Like, I just keep getting these
Well,
inconsistencies.
Finn is definitely there. He's there for Rey. He's not there for, because I mean, the way they played it, at least from my understanding, is that him waking up in that ship was him waking up immediately after what he remembers happening in The Force Awakens. So he was like our entry point, in like the viewer's entry point. Like he just kind of woke up in it and was like, the hell's going on? While Poe and Leia and BB-8 and Rey, like they all, you know, in between the films knew how they got from point A to point B.
Okay.
Finn had no idea.
Now, does Finn have the Force or not?
No.
Can he use the
I'm
Force?
not sure,
I don't
but
think you can.
listen.
Was it implied in the Force Awakens?
I'm glad you brought that up, because this is something that I wasn't going to remember unless you said that. But there is a scene whenever Rey reaches out to Poe and Poe sees it.
In The Force Awakens?
No, in this one. Yeah, I mean,
When?
There's some sort of vision, and Poe sees it, and then I can't. Do you guys not remember that?
No.
I'm having deja
I
vu
mean,
about this moment.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, let's keep it going. Okay, so what did you guys think of the whole Leia in space deal? She gets shot.
It was
Oh,
terrible.
that was so
it was fucking
dumb.
awful.
That pissed me
It would have
off
been the
so
perfect
bad.
exit for her.
Yeah, let her die, and especially now that Carrie Fisher's actually
the
dead.
only one that didn't die. You know?
Yeah.
She passed away in real life, and she's still alive in the movie though.
Yeah, and like, yeah, her getting blown into space and then like using the Force to pull her in. First off, Leia was never trained in the Force. Yeah, she has the Skywalker blood in her, and I guess she could like accidentally figure that out.
Life or death
but
scenario.
when in the hell in the entire Star Wars series have they set up that Jedis can survive in fucking space without a spacesuit?
Right.
That pissed me off.
I would have been fine with it if they like somehow pulled her back in and gave her a proper funeral. Because I think the way she went out when that
I
ship
think
got
that was
blown
great.
up, she got sucked out the window.
And I think it was great that Kylo Ren like didn't kill her.
Right.
Like he pulled off and then his ships killed her.
Yeah.
I thought that was great. And I
I
thought
did
that
too.
was going to set up some really interesting story arc for like Kylo Ren's feelings toward Snoke, whatever, Grand Admiral Snoke or whatever the hell his name is. And
Supreme
like
Leader.
Supreme Leader Snoke. And I thought that could be really cool, but instead they turned her into Superman.
Yep.
Like literally.
Superwoman.
You know, I didn't hate it as much the second time. I feel like
I didn't either.
in the wake of her passing, it would have been really shitty if they like visually showed her getting ejected from
Yeah,
a
that would have
spaceship.
been
Like, hey, rest in peace. They had to. They did everything they could. They were like, all right, we'll give her this nice little send off. Okay, so that's nice. And then
God.
and then what's also really cool is like I heard they brought in Laura Dern, who's great. She's in Blue Velvet. She was in October Sky.
She was in Jurassic Park.
She was in Jurassic Park. Yeah, so I heard they brought her in predominantly to fill up the scenes they didn't finish with Carrie Fisher, but somehow they made it work.
I don't
Laura
like her.
Dern's character
I don't like
wasn't
her.
bad.
Wait,
Yeah,
was
it's
Laura
terrible.
Dern
Purple
doing the
hair.
chick with purple hair?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Jurassic Park girl. Okay, yeah.
I thought her character was stupid, and you could tell that she was just forced in there because she started out good.
She
okay,
was forced in there.
Ooh.
Wow.
Just like Leia.
Oh wow.
Wait, so does that mean that Carrie Fisher was originally supposed to die?
I think she was.
Okay.
But what's cool is, and I'm jumping ahead. I'm not
Her
going to
well, hold on. Let's talk.
But I will say it is cool that she's still alive and she can take she doesn't even have to. Well, she's not going to be in the new.
Do you think they have any scenes filmed with her yet?
No, of course not.
Well, something that I really did like about her character, though, is that the entire time you thought that, like, she just had no idea what the hell she was doing because Poe was so, like,
Oh, her character was terrible.
And no, I enjoyed her character.
Because she started out good, and then they find out that somebody's like sending a signal to the Empire, tracking her ship.
No one was sending a signal.
They were just tracking the ship in hyperspace.
Yeah, they figured it out. But they figured out how to track them in hyperspace. But they figured out that the only way to possibly do that was to track one.
It wasn't somebody
ship.
on the ship.
No, no one was sending. What I originally thought was going on is that they had somehow figured out how to track the little beacon.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that that's what was going on, and they were going to have to destroy, and then they were going to be like, how's Ray going to find us? But that wasn't it at all. No, they actually figured out how to track ships in hyperspace, but they could only track one ship at a time. So the whole foil is that they had to get in there, shut it off, and then jump the hell out of there before they could target another ship to track. Or else them shutting it down would have done nothing, because they would have been able to turn it back on and find the beacon that they were beaming back.
All right, so
casino
sequence, I think it should have just never been there at all.
Left it out.
Dude, the casino sequence reminded me of, like, the the whole, like, sequence on Padme's home planet in Attack of the Clones. Like, I was just having so many flashbacks. And I was sitting there, and I was like, how the hell? I don't know. It just, that was bad.
I didn't like it.
I thought when they were having the horse races and they're like, oh, look at this, it's so exciting. They zoomed down to the track, and I thought it was gonna be pod racing again. Did you guys think
no, that's what I thought too. And it's like, why are you getting so excited over betting over horses whenever 60 years ago in your universe there were people flying mini spaceships and blowing up over like crazy courses?
I thought it was gonna be pod racing again. I was so excited.
Only on Tatooine.
You let me down with that one, Ryan Johnson.
Tatooine stays.
Tatooine.
All right,
Sebulba.
let's go ahead and
Your
move
Jedi
on.
mind tricks don't work on me.
No,
All right,
that's
so Luke-
Watto.
Yeah.
Watto.
God, that guy sucked.
Yeah,
He was all right.
did.
He was okay. He was all right.
Okay, so Rey gets little to no training, and she goes ahead and takes off and says, "You know what?
She takes off from the island. Is that the part you're talking about?
She's
No, we're not jumping that far ahead, are we? Because we haven't even touched on like how her and
what do you guys think about that?
the brain connection. I thought that was cool.
The brain connection was it was all right.
I thought that was interesting to me.
the brain connection was all. It was.
And
it was
something
cool.
else
cool.
that was interesting to me about the brain connection, and now I feel like we're kind of at that point. Going back to what I was talking about with Luke, I thought that really validated the way and how he acted towards Rey. Because, I mean, imagine if you had started a new Jedi temple and then accidentally created Vader 2.0.
Right.
After you, like, went through all that shit to stop the Sith, and you accidentally just reignited it. Like, I can definitely understand why then that Luke was so...
How was it his fault, though?
Guys, I thought we were waiting until the end for this part. I mean, are we?
Well, no, I mean, they talk about that during all
No,
this
this is
parts.
fine. This is
Jumping in?
fine.
Yeah, we can jump into it.
No, I
in.
absolutely do not understand how I'm on the as far polar opposite as I could be from any sort of justification. I mean, I watched all the films in chronological order coming up to this. There's no way Luke, who goes to face his father and literally doesn't kill him, still looks for good at him, redeems him, is going to try and kill Kylo just because he sees a little bit of darkness in him. It's absolutely
Well, no, he said
stupid.
he saw more darkness in him than he had ever seen, and
But
then he
Luke
said no.
wouldn't do that.
But Luke said in a moment, he said in like a moment of despair or something, he turned on his lightsaber, and then if you remember, whenever he's telling his side of the story, whenever he actually pulled the lightsaber, sorry, he says that he immediately regretted it and wasn't going to go through with his decision.
Okay, so then
And then Kylo woke up while he still had the lightsaber on, and he was like, "Oh God!" And that's why he's like, "No, Kylo, no!"
So Kylo literally sees his uncle with his lightsaber on, and then he goes and recruits or kills the rest of the Jedi Temple and fucking turns into Kylo Ren. Is that what's going on?
He
that's what
takes half
happened,
he takes half of the
ridiculous.
students.
Oh, I saw my uncle with his lightsaber on, so I'm gonna kill
Well,
everybody
he had already been tainted by Snoke, though.
Yeah,
Is what Luke says.
That's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, okay, what I mean, is it ridiculous that Anakin did that? Like,
no, but I mean, Anakin was like, well, this
Anakin had already been turned by Darth Sidious, and then he decided to
Anakin's
destroy the
freaking out
temple.
about Padme. He's got a wife. Luke's just a fucking guy trying to raise these kids. I mean, Anakin had he didn't have a lot of time.
Right.
He was like, and plus, I mean, Anakin's just a shithead. Anyway, no, the whole portrayal was just completely contradictory, and it's almost like they wanted to do something differently so bad that they started to take liberties, and like that's just not something that they really needed to really. Like Luke, it would be cooler if Luke actually would have gone like full blown evil, not this pessimistic hermit who's living on this planet and drinking like milk. You know what I mean?
Green milk out of an alien.
And plus, Luke literally left Dagobah early because he thought his friends were in danger. He wouldn't just leave his sister out to dry if she was actually in danger. I mean, I don't understand what happened. There wasn't enough of like an emotional story, like Luke turning on his lightsaber and having his nephew mad at him. Like that's just not enough to justify his characterization in the movie.
Well, and also to be fair, because you realize that with this new trilogy, they're also branching out to markets that didn't watch the original trilogy like we did.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And so they have to find a way. Like there's going to be some stuff from the original trilogy that doesn't carry over because, I mean, like it as you might not, the biggest market in movies today is China. And they didn't watch the original trilogy. They don't give a shit. A lot of them slept through The Force Awakens. So they're trying to break into that market with these movies because they want to, I mean, at the end of the day, Disney wants to make money off of it. And so they're not gonna necessarily follow the original trilogy like Bible, like we want them to, because they're trying to break into this new market that doesn't have that reference.
But they still could have broken into it without Luke being portrayed. I mean, they should have just made him full blown dark side evil. That would have been way cool.
Now, what do you guys think about Rey falling into that pit and asking to see her parents, and she just sees herself?
I don't know what's going on there. In fact, I think Kylo's full of shit. I don't think her parents were actually junkers or
dead.
I think just like Anakin, she was.
Well, I
don't
think she was. Okay, that's I hate. Oh God, I hate that.
I think that's
I do too,
probably what it was.
But I think
Then the Force fucked.
There's always a dark force and there's always a light force that matches it.
And
that's
they
Kylo.
fucked.
You know,
you take the dark force.
But
and the light
Kylo was
force,
actually
and they
born.
fucked.
Like that's confirmed.
Yeah,
And like Anakin was born, but he was like virgin married, except.
So I think Rey's virgin married to match Kylo.
So you think she was virgin married out of midichlorians?
I don't know what they're doing.
Midichlorians, yeah.
Midichlorians, whatever they're called.
I don't know. But I don't think Disney would ever have her parents be anybody closely. Like, I don't think she's a Skywalker.
She has to see her parents. I don't know what that magical hole was. That magical hole that she fell down into that had powers.
It's just nobody.
I think so. Like, because you saw the two shadows of her parents like walking towards her, and it comes together just to be her, like only her in existence.
What if Luke got it on with someone?
Maybe
with one of the fish nuns.
Maybe that's why he was so pissed off. Yeah, maybe that's why.
Yeah, because he never got the busted nut.
Yeah, he fucking was literally like courting this girl for 2 movies, and it's his sister. That's why he's all pissed off. He's like, God, that would have been hilarious. That would have been right with the humor. It's like, what? Why won't you trade me? It's like, because I kissed my sister.
I wanted to fuck my sister. And I had no idea who it was.
Because I fucked my sister. Yeah.
Oh my God. Also, you know what really just kind of hit me in the heart too? Is when fucking Luke called the lightsaber a laser sword.
Yeah,
I don't know. He's like, I'm not just gonna walk out there with a laser sword. It's like if Luke doesn't believe it, I don't believe it anymore. It's like, God.
They just took.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it's necessary. Like, just going out on a
laser sword.
Going out on a limb here, they might have portrayed him like that because I mean, imagine how like he had completely shut himself off from the Force. So there's probably going to be aspects of his personality from the original trilogy that aren't there because the Force was always a part of him, and then he completely closed that out.
Yeah, I'm not justifying this. Yeah. Anyway, let's also so you brought up that flashback of Rey with her parents. If you remember correctly, I mean, you said you kind of remembered The Force Awakens, but
they show her parents leaving her on the planet.
She's
like, don't go.
They show Kylo in that same flashback burning down the temple with all of the Knights of Ren. Where the fuck were the Knights of Ren? That's the most intriguing aspect of Kylo's character, and they're not anywhere to be found. Like, I mean, at least...
Well, is that the handful of students he made off with?
Yes, but they show him, like, literally slaughtering the whole temple, killing a guard, and of course that could be some trickery that they're going to have to change, but, I mean, that was supposed to be the scene where he took it down. Yeah, I mean, he's sitting there, like, just, like, napping on a cot, a meager little cot, and then he just sees his uncle, and then he brings out Luke's lightsaber. I guess he passed it on to Kylo, and then all of a sudden he's got this red double-bladed. I don't know.
I hate his fucking lightsaber. It's hideous.
Explained. Also,
I like it. I think it's cool.
Skywalker lightsaber, it's gone.
His lightsaber is Darth.
Anakin
hideous.
Skywalker's lightsaber is gone. Yes.
All right, so let's move on to the throne room scene, the pivotal.
Debatably the best part of the whole movie. That fight scene.
Wait, whenever Rey and that was actually fucking cool.
I hated Snoke. I
did too. I thought he was
an awful. I hadn't even seen
awful.
Pictures of him when I heard Supreme Leader Snoke. I said, "Oh."
Well, I thought he was way more
I mean,
sinister.
the puns were endless.
Do you want to use this glass?
No, I'm
want
already
to go have a
this
Snoke real quick?
I thought he was way more sinister as a hologram.
Hey, do you dip Snokenhagen? Hey, I don't want a Coke. I want a Snoke. Yeah, I mean, horrible name.
They were building the pots, him up. Man.
I'm cool with Snoke being dead.
I'm totally cool with Snoke being dead.
There's so many tropes that would have came with if he would had a pivotal role in the third movie.
Also, with Snoke being dead, I just want to throw out there, I'm so fucking over Andy Serkis. Andy, how do you say his last name? Serkis fucking mocap characters. I'm sorry. I'm over it.
What do you mean? Get Jar Jar to voice Snoke. That would have been hilarious.
Mr. Snoke. Or what if it confirmed that fan theory that Jar Jar Binks was actually a Sith Lord, and it was just like, God damn it, we can't get rid of this piece of shit character.
That would have been awesome, actually.
That would have been pretty funny.
So, Kylo kills his master, tries to turn Rey, and it doesn't really go how he planned. Kind of like that pour.
Hey, but no, the whole fight scene with Rey and Kylo, that was cool. And whenever
that's part of the
movie. Something that where I thought they were going for a split second, I thought this would be so cool, is if Kylo actually had turned Rey. And like
she did hold the lightsaber,
and Luke like fucking basically like had to John McCain it come out of retirement for the third movie.
No, see, that would have been.
It'd be like, all right, now I got to do it all over again, and like come back as like Luke, because I mean he proved kind of that he could be a total badass in a fight if he wanted to be.
That's a good point. We'll continue. I'm gonna come back to that. Okay, so throne room scene's dope. Snoke gets killed. Anybody have a problem with Snoke getting killed?
Do you know what else I thought?
Other than they just built him up so much in the Force Awakens and just killed him off.
Character.
You know what else I thought?
He wasn't though as a hologram though. He was pretty sinister. Like just when you could see just his face.
No, I think it's awesome. I mean, you know what? I thought it was really pretty. The first time you saw it, you're like, what the fuck? It was very cool.
You know what else I thought was badass as far as like cool shit happening, and it's all in that like same time frame. Whenever Jurassic Park lady like light speed jumps through the ship, because I've always wondered, like whenever I'm watching films and shit with like sci-fi space travel, what would happen if they accidentally like light jumped into something? You know what I mean? Like what would like would they fly through it, or would they just like you know, like I just wondered what would happen, and I thought that was really cool.
Do you remember
I'm getting the calculations for light speed, like, so you're calculating everybody else that's jumping in the light speed,
and you're also calculating all the asteroids that are going to be in the way and all that. But it was really cool to see like if they do hit something, it's going to wreck
that was very, very, very cool scene.
Do you remember when we were in the theater watching it the first time, and you know how she hits it and it goes real silent?
Yeah.
And somebody in the audience was like, "Damn."
Damn. Yeah. Damn. Yeah, it was cool. I mean, and that happens every time you see it. It's just like, damn, dude.
Yeah.
All right, so let's
cool
just kind of cut to the chase. Let's talk about the ending. Let's talk about the final battle on Crate.
No, hey, let's not breeze past Captain Phasma now.
No,
Captain Phasma got owned by a janitor.
You were always scum, rebel scum.
Yeah.
I know we haven't touched on this enough. The awful one-liners throughout this entire film.
Beer me, please.
I'll trade you. How about a shot of bourbon?
All right.
But anyway, the awful one-liners throughout the entire movie were just so bad, and that rebel scum one was
Pretty bad.
You've
always been scum.
And like that was one of those
Rebel
things where it was
scum.
like I was saying earlier, they did some cool callbacks. But one of my big complaints with The Force Awakens is that there were so many like strong callbacks to the film. You know what I mean? And like it was cool throughout the film how they were calling them rebel scum and stuff because that's what they did in the original trilogy. But whenever they turned it into a one-liner for Finn, and like the sense of like
Dan,
a cheesy.
You just tried to desert the. You're not rebel scum. You're the resistance. There's no rebellion. The fucking. The fucking Republic is still intact. The home planet's gone, but there's still members of the actual Republic that are there.
Well, I mean, they state in the opening title crawl that the First Order has taken complete control of the galaxy.
I know, but
So they are rebels.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, whenever
there's no
he did
clarification.
whenever he did the one-liner, it's in the title crawl. There is clarification. In that.
They blew up
It is in the
base, and all this.
and then they said that they took over the entire galaxy in the title crawl. They tell you that.
Yeah, they do.
It's.
They do. They are rebels.
But no, the whole rebel scum one-liner was one of the most painfully horrible things I've seen.
Because the Asian girls, like when they find like the horse dogs and little kids like about to press whatever the
like,
fuck
"With the
button that did,
rebellion."
she's like, yeah, we're with the rebellion.
That stupid key coder ring. It's like, where the fuck did you get that?
Yeah.
At Cracker Jacks?
Yeah, it's like.
All right, yeah,
Your
okay.
decoder ring.
Let's talk.
What about Benicio del Toro's part?
Worthless.
Dude, okay, here's something I got to bring up with
Throw
you.
away.
And sorry
I
for
know.
no one that's going to get this joke.
What was his?
Yeah, why the hell did they cast Mr. Levan in the movie?
Like, what the fuck? Yeah, no, valid.
Yeah. Okay, for those of you who don't know, Mr. Levan was a teacher we had in 7th grade that had an awful stutter. That was actually a really mean joke. But
Yeah,
it was
fuck,
so...
Chip.
Yeah, sorry, I'm an
Teacher
asshole.
did his best.
But it was...
I got a
so-
D.
Obviously, he didn't
Yeah,
do
he was-
very
he
well.
was an asshole.
I'm cool with the comment.
But but no, like and going back to the whole this goes back to the opening statement whenever we were talking about our overviews of the film. This is not a Star Wars film at all. It's a Marvel film set in the Star Wars universe. You might as well call it fucking Guardians of the Galaxy Wars. It's not. But I was halfway expecting Benicio del Toro after he cut the deal with the First Order to be like, by the way, they gave me one of the Infinity Stones because I'm the collector, and just like fly off. Like it was,
Well, and the guy that they were actually looking for, you only see him in one little scene. He doesn't look like anybody who would be in
Justin
Star.
Theroux from the Leftovers.
Really?
Oh, really?
He doesn't look like anybody who would be in the Star Wars universe at all.
Yeah, also married to Jennifer Aniston.
Really?
Good
I
job
Can you
on
put,
you,
like, a
sir.
I thought that was
effect
Ben
in there?
Affleck.
Okay, so
Ding. If you would have smiled, I would have put like the little.
Well, Ben Affleck and Jennifer Aniston were together for a while. They called
Oh,
them-
Jennifer Aniston.
all right, guys, come on.
Jennifer.
All right.
I'm thinking about.
Suck ending.
Hey, this is fucking my show. It's
think-
called Beside the Point for a goddamn
You're
reason.
thinking about Angelina Jolie
No, not Angelina Jolie. I'm thinking about
because Brangelina was a heartbreaker.
married to Ben Affleck right now, or was?
Not anymore.
the
Jennifer-
chick that
Jennifer-
played Elektra.
Yeah,
Jennifer Gardner.
Jennifer Gardner. That's
Yeah,
what I
now
was
she's on all the
thinking
Capital One commercials. It's like, man,
about. Yeah, gosh, she's so mom hot now.
she is so mom hot.
Okay. Anyways, Milligan about.
Milligan's about to have an aneurysm
Oh
over
no,
here.
God, that's what
Go
the show's
talk
about.
Talk the ending.
Talk the final battle.
What about Yoda? Before we go to the
Oh
ending,
yeah, what about Yoda?
What about
popping in
Puppet
there?
Yoda?
Puppet Yoda?
I
Puppet
loved
Yoda.
it. I mean, I
They
loved
gave
it.
Luke his Puppet Yoda back.
And I did find it interesting how whenever they lit the tree on fire, it was like the Jedi symbol. Did you notice that?
It looks like an X-wing to me.
It makes no sense. Luke has been literally guarding these books for years.
He doesn't
at
have
the
them.
first Jedi temple,
And he
which
just
looks
burns
like,
them?
Like, what the fuck was the nun deal? Okay, and he burns them down. Also, he didn't burn them. They're in the Millennium Falcon at the
Yeah,
end for a
they
split
show him
second.
at the they
But-
show him at the end.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
It doesn't make any sense. And he skimmed through them. He goes to all this also because this is the Hardcore Casuals channel. Let's talk about some of the cutscenes from Battlefront 2, expanding on Luke's story. He finds a compass. Nobody knows where it's taking him. It's one of the only things he gets out of Palpatine's old little storage room. That must have sent him to the first Jedi Temple. He's still optimistic.
Like teleports
in the
them or
game,
some
too.
shit?
This is all canon. This is canonical.
Battlefront
stuff.
2's canon?
Canonical,
Canonical.
not canonical.
Ding. Yeah, no. So
Will you pronounce deter for us, Matt?
Dieter. Yeah. So
Dieter.
Luke's like got this compass. He's trying to find the Jedi Temple. He's trying to start a new Jedi Order. And he's still just cool and calm and collected. And he's got a lightsaber.
He's got a lightsaber
and he's
too.
like a laser sword.
Oh god, I hate it. That was my. Go on.
What, you think
Fuck,
I'm gonna
I
come
hate
in with
that.
some laser sword and beat the whole
Right.
First Order for you?
God.
Meh, meh, meh.
No.
I can't believe he called it a laser sword.
Nephew issues are not enough to turn heroic Luke Skywalker into such a piece of shit. A coward. Stupid. Anyway, let's talk about the final
Well, he
battle.
created Vader 2.0. I can see why he was pissed.
He tried to redeem
Now, the final battle, I will say, that was okay. Going back to the whole rehashing thing, that was the Hoth battle. Like it literally looked like the Hoth battle, except they like.
It was just a
They're
planet
doing
of
a little
salt.
red.
Well, yeah, they very much
planet of
clarified.
salt.
They very
It
much
wasn't even
clarified.
snow.
I feel like that's why that whole stupid scene was in there of him like tasting the salt, and he's like, "It's salt."
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
that was weird.
Oh no! Talking about dumbass scenes that we didn't talk about. the ironer.
Oh.
Oh,
I thought that was kind of funny.
dude, that was
That
so
was Star
dumb.
Wars humor.
When I was sitting there, and whenever it was
looked
like
like a
coming
ship coming
down,
down.
that was not Star Wars humor. That was one-liner.
That was like
humor.
old school.
But whenever it was coming down, I
Old school Star
literally
Wars
almost leaned to you, and I was like, "How much of their budget did they blow that they had to use a fucking
I
ironer
know, I said the same thing.
as a spaceship?" And then it was, and I was like, "God damn it!" But
All right,
anyway,
final battle,
back to the final battle. I thought it was really cool. I thought it would have been cooler if they had let Finn sacrifice himself.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I wanted it to
I thought
happen,
it was-
not because I hate Finn, but just because I was like, all right, I'm prepared for this.
Yeah, and like there was a lot of emotional draw there because it was that would have been his rebuilding moment. Because
Absolutely.
if he had sacrificed himself for the rebellion, that would have been his rebuilding moment to bring him back from running away at the beginning of the film.
They haven't even like slightly destroyed the blast door. That's when you have physical Luke come out and show off his force powers that he's learned, and then only ask for Kylo after he's got 3 of the AT-M6s, I think, or
They're not
Dude, the new
AT
walkers, whatever they're called.
AT-M.
Oh,
I can't what they're
the
called.
one that
They're
BB-8
badasses.
pilots?
No, not the chicken walkers, the actual big walkers.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, they were really hammering that.
But
BB-8, is that you?
But no, I was wanting Finn to sacrifice himself, and going back to just horribly corny lines. Do you not see, like, whenever that chick sacrifices herself for Finn, and then he's talking to her, it's like, it's not about fighting what we hate, it's about fighting for what we love.
It's
Yeah.
about
Saving what we love.
Oh my
And kisses
god,
him.
that was so awful. But I will say, getting to see Luke pull like the most badass Jedi mind trick of all times was kind of cool.
Because Luke was always so great at Jedi mind tricks.
Well, he's been
now.
training on that. He read
He
all those
hasn't
books.
been
he hadn't-
training.
he wasn't training. He cut himself off in the
skimmed
Force.
through the books, and he's been drinking milk and spearing fish and leaving his X-wing. He literally went there to die. His nephew had an issue
He
with
said
him,
that.
and he went
said
there
that.
to
I
die.
came here to die. Is what he said. He said that in the movie.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what character you've got. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Okay,
You didn't like the cool Jedi mind trick?
no. Literally, they're trying to do something different, so they make Luke a coward, and then they're like, "Oh, this is gonna be really creative. Let's make him Ben Kenobi from fucking A New Hope.
Something.
If you strike me down, I'll become one."
Yeah.
Dude.
Or,
Bullshit.
oh
I saw
my
that coming
god.
from a mile
Oh my
away,
god.
though.
Or the fucking. Oh god. The line whenever he was like, "Oh, that's funny," because everything you said
just said was just wrong. It's like, you know what, Luke? You've said
You
a
already
lot of
said that.
fucking wrong shit too.
And you know something that I was
And
legit.
Kylo comes out gun hot, still pissed off about the lightsaber
Yeah,
being on.
yeah.
I stop fire everything.
I failed you. I'm sure you did.
No, he's like, I failed you, and I'm sorry for that. And he's like,
Kylo,
I'm sure you are.
my hand slipped. I'm sorry.
Yeah, when did they like going back to Kylo's like whole thing throughout this movie? Whenever he was punching his fucking helmet against the elevator door, the only thing I could think of was like, why did you turn Kylo Ren into Jon Snow?
I don't know.
He was so moody and pissed
I
off.
kind of liked.
Jon Snow's usually pretty cool, calm, and collected. I'd be scared if Jon Snow tried to fight me. If Kylo walked up to me,
I kind of
I'd just
liked
be like,
Kylo in this movie until that last moment.
And to be fair with Kylo Ren,
They
I've
did.
never really liked his character simply because. Have you guys ever seen the HBO show Girls?
I haven't.
have.
Yeah, but
Adam Driver. No. This is what ruins Kylo for me because it takes me out every time I see Adam Driver on screen. He plays this really weird character in the TV show, and he breaks up with the main character at one point. And this is whenever I quit watching that show because I was like, this is just too much for me. And the girl that he breaks up with walks out of the bathroom, and he's laying on his bed beating off. And she's like, "You couldn't wait for me to leave." And
no,
the only
that was
thing.
Kylo. That was. Do you not remember that scene?
That was Star Wars.
I'm having these visions of Rey.
That was. He's like, "Can you see my surroundings?"
But the only
hopefully
thing,
you can't,
Yeah,
right?
can you see my surroundings?
the only thing he says.
It's like no, he's like.
Probably for the
Okay,
best.
so what's
Probably for the best.
But
What's going on?
the only thing he can say to this girl after he's broken up with her and he's beating off in front of her and like the Adam Driver like deep voice, he just goes, "Will you step on my balls?" And that's all I see whenever I see Adam Driver on screen.
That was in the last scene. He had the mask on. He put it back on. He goes, "Could you step on my balls?"
You know, he was actually a Marine for a really long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But anyway,
that'd be cool if he maybe brought out some of that Marine testosterone.
He did, I think, in The Last Jedi. Like, he was really cool until that last scene.
and I thought,
threw a little baby
dude,
fit.
I thought the ultimate Jedi mind trick was cool. I was a little pissed off whenever he just walked into the base. Whatever they clearly stated, they were like, "There's only one way in and one way out." It's like, how the fuck did he get in here?
Yeah, well, where did the
makes
crystal
sense.
critters go? Find them, and then you'll find the exit.
Also,
Pokemon.
like the
crystal
blue
critters.
lightsaber, Anakin's
Yeah, the
had
blue
already been
lightsaber,
destroyed.
yeah,
So
and
that was
like-
a dead giveaway. But also, I mean, it would have been so much cooler.
But how did Kylo not notice that he was wielding a blue lightsaber?
Because Kylo.
What do you mean?
Kylo was busy.
Luke was using a blue lightsaber in the fight, but
Right.
Luke's
the blue
lightsaber
lightsaber
is
had already
green.
been destroyed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they destroyed the blue lightsaber.
Obi-Wan's, maybe?
No,
No.
it was because he was a Force ghost or apparition or something.
He was pulling
Well,
a
because
Jedi
it showed
mind trick.
in the okay, yeah, absolutely.
why he
but
could never
in the,
actually
in the,
strike
in the
Kylo.
flashback, I understand that.
Which, by
In
the way, the whole
flashback he had
Matrix
his
thing
screen.
pissed me off. Whenever he like they literally did like a shot remake of the Matrix. Whenever Luke
Yeah, I know.
drops down Neo style and the like Kylo Ren's
Yes,
lightsaber goes
I
right
know
over his
all
head,
about
I was
the
just
saber
like,
dodge.
God damn it.
No, I hate.
And then he does a little flip
They-
backwards. which
and
is cool,
and
though.
also like it's like Luke's sister is in imperative danger. This is like literally like she just flew into a ship. She
And,
should be dead.
Yeah. Also, when
And,
Luke
and Luke's just like,
when Luke
you know,
walked
like,
through
I
the
didn't get a whole
tunnels,
lot
though,
of sleep last night. I didn't get my milk this morning. I'm just gonna force apparition this. And
when Luke walks through the tunnels and talks to Leia, though, everybody saw him, right? Everybody could see
Yeah,
him.
no,
He was-
everyone could see him. He Jedi mind tricked every single person there, which
Luke
is
Skywalker
crazy.
is a legend.
Which would probably explain
we
why
could
he just
really
kind of
use a
faded
legend
away.
right
'Cause
now.
he used like the extent of his.
Well, yeah, well, no, I think he faded away because he felt like he had completed his mission within the galaxy, which was he
What?
saved.
I helped the rebels escape.
No, he helped
If
the rebels
they would've-
escape, and he gave them raised the
complete
raised the
shit.
savior of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Rey is
yeah, I
an
guess.
unlikable character, and they turn Luke into an even more unlikable
I like
character.
Rey.
That's
I don't have any emotional ties to
Nope,
Rey.
I don't either. In fact, I would have been more stoked if Rey would have died and Luke would have avenged her.
I would have been more
No,
stoked
they
if
would
Rey
never do
had
that.
turned to the dark side, and
That would be
Luke was
tight.
like, "All right, I'm coming and taking out both of these motherfuckers."
That would be cool if Rey and Kylo got together and they started their whole new order.
They had a couple Sith babies. That's where the Knights of Knights of Ren
Sith
come
babes,
in.
Sith babies.
Knights of Ren. I don't even want to talk about
They're
that.
gonna be in the next movie for sure.
Oh, JJ's gonna fuck it up.
Did you see? Okay, at the very end
I'm really
scene,
pissed that JJ is directing the last one too.
at the very end scene where like all the little slave kids are sitting around.
yeah,
Okay,
the
we're
one
not
uses
there
the
yet.
Force.
Oh, we're not there yet.
But-
and he uses the Force to
What
get
did
the
you
broom.
think? Okay, Matt. What did you think about the?
We are there.
What
What are
did
you
you think
talking
about the ice Pokemon?
They're crystal
I like them.
critters.
I like
you
the
liked
crystal
them?
critters.
No, no. He actually
thought they
addressed.
were fine.
He actually addresses them as that.
Literally.
Poe's like, wait, where's?
Where are the
Could
crystal
there be
critters?
could there be a back door? And Finn goes, well, where's the crystal critters?
I don't have. That's like probably the
No.
aspect.
Can
of
you
the-
not come up with a better name?
Crystal Critters?
Crystal critters.
That's a Disney fucking name.
Yeah,
Oh,
that is a
it is
Disney
so
fucking name.
such a Disney.
No, that's a
fucking
Guardians
name.
of the Galaxy name.
No, it's not. Crystal Critters.
Where's the crystal
It's
critters?
like, hey, Snow White.
Speaking of how
Where's your
bad.
Crystal Critter?
Speaking of how bad this movie got Marvelized, did you see the meme that's like from The Empire Strikes Back whenever Vader's like, "I'm your father," and Luke's like, "No," and then what's his face, the guy with the orange mohawk from Guardians of the Galaxy is right there. And he's like, "He may be your father, but I'm your daddy." I laughed so hard at that shit.
Oh, yeah, it
wrong,
was
wrong
good.
movie, Chip.
All
We're not
right.
talking about that movie.
Well, I mean, it's the
Well,
whole
you know.
Marvelizing of Star Wars.
You know.
Yeah, so we've got the ending. The whole resistance is on the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, all 20 of them.
Yeah, all 20 of them can literally fit in one ship.
The
And
entire...
Leia's like, Rey's like, how are we gonna rebuild the rebellion with like this? And she's like, oh, we have everything we need right here. It's like 10 guys around her.
Luke's literally just dead.
Yeah, Luke just he just drops
everything
away.
we need right here, and then she kind of goes, "Oh."
And it's like, I'm interested to see how they handle, like, all of a sudden in episode 9 being like, and Leia's gone.
Yeah.
I guarantee you JJ's probably crying in his bed every night.
Right. Like, how am I gonna do this?
Why'd you do Luke like that?
Chip said he liked the way Luke went out.
No.
I didn't mind it. I didn't mind Luke throughout the whole movie. I thought it was
not going to go the way that you think.
Yeah.
Your hand's gonna slip, and then Kylo's gonna hate you forever.
No, Luke was right about that.
Okay, yeah, no, and Luke was right
right
about that part. And the whole thing is that, like, I feel like he has a right to be apprehensive about the whole Jedi religion thing, since he literally created the second coming of Vader.
But there should have been some sort of character arc where he was apprehensive.
It wasn't his
first,
fault.
and then he yeah, dude.
Well, he was
Luke's fault.
apprehensive at first, and then
Kylo was
he came
gonna
back
do that
and
regardless.
saved and helped Rey save everyone.
But
Because he believes in Rey to lead the resistance.
Gone. He could have physically gone.
He wouldn't have made it in time. Think how long it took Rey to get there.
Why didn't he just
And
go
he
with
didn't
her
even-
to help out his sister?
Okay, well, he didn't go with her because
Luke
he
left
was
Dagobah early. He's not just gonna let his friends die.
he left Dagobah early whenever he was young and dumb and full of cum.
He didn't lose that fight.
He was still in love with his sister and wanted to bang her because he didn't know it was his sister yet. Now he doesn't have that sex drive to get him to the final battle.
It's like, oh god,
Yeah,
his sister
true.
now.
Yeah. Okay. So let's just talk like final thoughts on the movie, negative and positive.
Well, okay, I want to talk about the little slave kids. Like those are gonna be the next
Ones,
Jedi
like,
Order.
Yeah, okay.
It looks like
that's,
little baby
That's
Anakin.
actually something that really pissed me off. Not the kid using the Force to move the broom. I didn't give a shit about that.
Was that a shooting star?
Yeah, and he forces the broom to him. He's like,
I just thought it
starts
was
sweeping the streets.
Okay, we could have used you in that little casino squabble we had, kid.
Yeah, like, what the fuck,
Thanks
kid?
for showing me your cool ring. You could have fucking helped me out a little bit.
I just thought it was interesting
We
that
coulda
they
used you, kid.
Will you hand me another one?
Great shot, kid.
I just thought it was interesting that whenever they were talking about, like, people will start believing and the resistance will grow, they show 3 little kids who are slaves, and it's like, oh, so you're gonna rely on a bunch of, like,
But it only shows
12
one of them that has
You're
the
gonna-
uses the
well,
Force.
no, but they're all talking about the battle. And
Right.
like, oh, the rebels
Luke
won.
Skywalker.
And it's like, oh, you're gonna wait for a bunch of 8-year-olds to grow up
Yeah.
and be like, what are you
All
gonna
right,
do?
in,
Are they gonna,
15
like-
years we'll make our move.
Are
I
they gonna
guess.
like Coney it in fucking episode 9 and just have a bunch of child soldiers running around
Whoa,
like that?
Chip. Whoa, Chip.
Hey, that happened in
Hey.
2012. Get over it.
Whoa.
Joseph Coney's not a joke.
He's still alive. He's still out there.
That's right. Okay. Well, ending scene that didn't really hold a whole lot of value for me. I mean, I understand the sentiment.
I kind of liked the ending scene.
No,
Honestly, I did.
they
I loved Baby Anakin Skywalker. That was fun. I don't hate Phantom Menace. I don't hate it.
Okay, well that's for a different podcast.
Yeah, we'll explain to you in detail how you're wrong.
No.
I got that VHS when I was 5. so
I'm
it's my
I'm ready
birthday.
for that podcast. I don't hate Phantom Menace either.
I
think actually
I hate
Phantom
Clone
Menace
Wars.
has the best lightsaber duel out of
Oh,
any
it does. It definitely
And the soundtrack.
does. I'll give you that.
Soundtrack is fucking great.
Oh, incredible.
No, it has the best lightsaber duel by far.
Pod racing.
Oh my god!
God damn
Whenever
it.
Obi-Wan comes out of the gate and he's getting like even Ewan McGregor's like getting hyped
Yeah.
for it. He's like, and then
Yeah.
dude, just from that moment on, it's just like forget about it, kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The pod racing scene. was
Yeah,
fucking
but
dope.
Anakin Skywalker blowing up the shit whenever he's a little kid. That was.
No, it's awesome. Like, he just had that. He had that instinct.
It's working.
Guys.
It's working.
Try
spitting. That's a cool move.
That's a cool.
All right, no, we're not talking about that anymore. Okay, so I'd say like what I gained from a second viewing.
Whose
just in
podcast
general.
is this?
Yeah, that's fine. I think I want to talk more about. I'm pretty much done talking about Phantom Menace too. Also, that's all I can.
Well, I didn't mind the movie, but their characterization of Luke Skywalker could have been completely different, and it still would have fit the plot. That's my biggest concern. And after everything they did, in my opinion, just to make it different, there's a lot of ways they could have done it instead of making Luke a coward or something, or they could have filled it in a little more with some sort of
They did an
backstory.
injustice to Luke,
with
for sure.
everything that Disney owns. I mean, you guys forget they own Marvel now, so they have
21st
Star
Century
Wars.
Fox, everything.
They have Star Wars comics that are canon. that fill in all these gaps. And I mean, literally,
I heard they're really badass.
they're not bad at all. And it shows Luke after Return of the Jedi doing all this other badass shit, which still like. I've read all
After Return of the Jedi?
After Return of the
Jedi. They fill in a lot of like plot points as to like.
What do you mean? Is he like a
No, it's just
force?
no. He's still with the rebellion or the Republic.
Oh, Return of the Jedi. I thought I was thinking of the Last Jedi.
Like,
I'm
they
sorry.
also addressed the whole thing of like, how did Vader know that Luke was his kid in Episode 5?
How did he build his
Episode
lightsaber,
4?
his red lightsaber,
Yeah,
all
like
sorts
all
of
that shit.
But yeah, what I'm saying is,
start
it's just
reading
the
Apparently
character,
they're really good.
the characterization of Luke and some of the strange humor kind of took the movie down a little bit for me. Not so much the humor, and not even so much Snoke dying. I did not have a problem with that at all.
I just don't like how they built him up so much just to be this fucking crazy
JJ
badass.
built him up. Ryan Johnson killed him because he just did not.
Why did it? Tell me
doesn't
again.
care.
Maybe I've just forgotten why JJ didn't do all three of them. Why is he doing the first one and the last one?
Well,
not the middle one?
initially,
Well, originally he was just going to do the first one, and Ryan Johnson was doing the second
Yeah,
one,
so
and
come
Colin
clean up.
Trevorrow
was doing
Episode 9,
Jurassic World, yeah.
the
and-
Jurassic World guy.
Apparently, they just shoehorned him out. But, I mean, honestly, I'm not that disappointed that JJ's directing the third one because maybe he will come up with some sort of reason as to why Luke was.
That seems weird.
It's
to
just the whole
contract three
nephew-
different fucking directors.
The whole nephew.
Well, I mean,
uncle
that's how
thing.
the original trilogy was done.
That's true.
Really?
They used 3 different directors for him. Yeah.
But it was still just all George Lucas, pretty much.
No,
George
no,
Lucas
George
was
Lucas-
actually working on
George
Raiders of the Lost Ark
yeah,
when
George
Empire.
Lucas
yeah.
didn't even write 5 and 6. He consulted, and he was a producer.
No, on 6 he did. On 5 he did.
Okay, yeah. So
he
he
was
wrote.
doing Raiders of the Lost Ark. during
Okay,
5.
I thought he didn't. Didn't he co-write
Well,
6
fuck it.
though?
Yeah, but
He was doing Raiders of the Lost Ark.
listen.
So Harrison Ford was doing 5 and Raiders at the same time.
No. I mean, I'm pretty sure they were almost done with Raiders.
Because
But
5
again-
had
again,
Harrison and Ford in it like pretty much the entire time.
Not sure. It's just something I heard.
Well, the reason they froze Harrison Ford in Carbonite is because or Han Solo was because they weren't sure if Harrison Ford was going to come back for Episode 6.
Yeah.
It's the entire reason they did that.
Old
Well,
Harrison
fuck it, it
Ford
was
in Force
awesome.
Awakens. That's a great way to portray an old character.
True. Well, I mean,
and
he
didn't
he
change.
was Han Solo.
He didn't really get. Oh, actually, he did get into a fight with his nephew because it's his fucking son, and he died for it. But he didn't change.
No, he didn't fight him. He was like, Ben, let's hug it out, and then he killed him.
Yeah, that's probably what.
Which is kind of a lame way for Han to go down. And remember, Han fucking shot first.
Yeah, everybody knows that.
Yeah. So no, I didn't
Probably
hate
some
the movie.
young kids that have watched the re-releases that don't. know.
Actually,
Guido,
I hated The
Guido.
Last Jedi. It ruined Star Wars for me. Luke Skywalker being the most likable character, the whole original ensemble, the chemistry that those 3 characters had: Leia, Han, Luke. I'm not seeing it with Poe, Finn, the janitor, trying to desert twice.
Yeah,
He
the
was a
stormtrooper-
stormtrooper. Why do you call him the janitor?
And also,
I don't know.
He
why
was a stormtrooper. Why do you call him the janitor?
he knew where the garbage compactor was.
Yeah.
Yeah, he knew the layout of the ship because he
janitor.
served on it. No, he was a fucking stormtrooper. He killed people in the Force
Star
Awakens.
Wars trivia. Did you know Finn's stormtrooper number? If anybody can quote that. 'Cause I
FN
forgot.
177.
That was Leia's holding cell in A New Hope.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
So you guys mind if I title this episode Star Wars the Last Movie We Care About?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Are you cool with that?
I'm cool with that.
Well, my final take on the movie, now that we've gotten into the spoilers and everything, is, like I said, I feel like I had a better first go-around than these guys because they went and saw it on opening night. I did not. And my bar was set so incredibly low because everyone was like, this movie is just shit, that it didn't gut punch me as hard as everyone. But if you're going in there for a straightforward Star Wars film, you're going to have the rug pulled out from underneath you because it's not a Star Wars film. Can we agree on that? It's not.
It's canon, but I
It's
hate
canon,
that
but
it is.
But I'm saying, like, as far as like tonally and like everything else, it's really not a Star Wars film. It's a Marvel film set in the Star Wars universe.
I'd say if you took
Or
like the
Disney-
slapstick kind
Yeah.
of comedy out of it and like a lot of the other aspects that have worked so well for Marvel, it still feels like a Star Wars film to me, but it feels like a Disney-owned Star Wars film.
Yeah, it's not. If you're going in, don't believe all the hype about it being the best Star Wars film ever because it's not.
Who has said that?
Well, no, there was a lot of critics before it came out that were saying like Ryan
Critics are
Johnson might have pulled it off.
They're not real people.
Well, yeah,
The critics review was like 95%,
Yeah,
and then the
and
audience
actually
review was
it was
like
like 50.
52.
But, I
Yeah.
mean, a lot of critics are probably like at best like mild Star Wars fans because they watch cinema. They watch film.
Or they got paid to say they liked it.
They grow up with like the toys and the original trilogy and all that shit. And I think that's why I'm ragging on it so hard. But
I mean, I think that's why we're all ragging on it because we're expecting
it's targeted for a different generation.
And it's something else that you got to take into account.
We're
is
getting
that
fucking
like,
old.
The nostalgia factor for us plays a huge part in it. So if we don't get something that like hits us right,
but think about our nostalgia. Like, think about the people who a buddy of mine from work said he was sitting next to a guy who was like, I remember waiting in line for A New Hope, and like however many years later it is, here I am still. It's like, I imagine what they think about it, the original Star Wars fans. Fans. We're the prequel fans. That's what we grew up with.
Bullshit, we are not the prequel fans.
Hey.
Or not, we're the prequel generation is what I meant to say.
No. We grew up
watching
Star Wars before the prequel films came
Absolutely,
out.
but we are the prequel generation. Like that was coming out when we were youngins. We're younglings.
In terms of when we were born, we are
the
prequel generation.
Yeah, we are. So, and now these movies are aimed at a brand new. I don't either. I hate Clone Wars. That movie fucking sucked ass.
Hey, I like Phantom Menace more than Clone Wars.
Phantom Menace.
I do like Phantom Menace more than Clone Wars.
And Revenge of the Sith was good too.
The other day I was watching Revenge of the Sith, and there's just some corny shit in that film.
It came out in like 2000 fucking 5.
No, I'm talking about like the whole scene of like R2D2 battling the battle droids.
Oh, that was badass. That was badass. That was funny. That was great.
Were there any battle droids kind of going at it or battling in this one?
Were you talking to the mic?
Were there any battle droids kind of?
You're still not talking to the mic.
Kind of going at each other in this one.
I don't know where he's going at with this, but
was there not like a First Order like black battle droid that literally had no place in the whole movie?
Oh, the one that looked like BB-8.
The BB-8.
The
Sith BB-8.
I'll take Revenge of the Sith because it was just a passing, fleeting moment.
Yeah.
R2's gonna shock somebody and then it's over.
It wasn't like a critical plot point that they got busted.
R2 actually kicked ass. He like sprayed all the oil on him and then lit him on fire.
Cooler.
Yeah.
No, but I just.
And you know what's cool about R2 is he remembers everything. His mind never got wiped, and he doesn't like have like. It's like, why don't you tell everybody like some of the things?
Well, no, like R2
guys,
just doesn't
give
a fuck.
Beep, boop, boop, bad idea. Don't do it. Dark side.
And I definitely love how like the whole thing about like why like they couldn't just ask R2 where Luke was is because R2 was like, oh, Luke's not here. Nope, fuck you guys. I'm just gonna go to sleep. Like, wouldn't help them at all.
Oh, and you know what else I loved is whenever there was supposed to be this sentimental moment between 3PO and Luke. It's like, Master Luke, and he's just like.
Yeah, I know.
It was kind of funny. It's like, I don't have time to fuck.
Yeah,
I'm about to kill
when
myself.
he addressed R2 in the Millennium Falcon, he was like, oh,
my old friend.
Yeah, 3PO's like, Luke. He's like,
I got.
Well, just like to be fair, I know one. I have one friend out of anyone I've ever met whose favorite Star Wars character is C-3PO. Everyone else just kind of likes the
fucking nerd.
Yeah, C-3PO.
No, that's actually
the worst character.
Yeah, no, my
He's
buddy.
Not the worst character.
My buddy, I'm not going to name names, but my buddy, his reasoning for C-3PO being his favorite character is because, and this is just such the way he thinks because he is a nerd, but I love him to death, is that C-3PO is the most pivotal character in the entire series because he's the only one in A New Hope that can communicate between R2-D2 and everyone else because they haven't learned how to speak to R2 yet. He's like, he's the key player, man. He's the most pivotal point. And it's like,
he's
you
trolling
have a point,
He's
but
fucking trolling you.
No, he's dead serious. He is dead to the point where he bought his dog a collar that had C-3PO on it, specifically because it had C-3PO on it.
All right, Zach, what'd you think of Last Jedi? Final
I basically my second time seeing it, I liked it a little bit better. It was a pretty movie.
It was a really
I think I've stated
shot film.
like I think all these big time directors are more focused on CGI and green screen bullshit, rather than telling a story. It's all about spending money on theatrics and fucking crazy explosions rather than a story, and I think this was a good display of that.
I thought the story.
I think it's only going to get worse from here. I mean, like I'm saying, this is aimed at a different generation. It's not aimed at us anymore. It's never going to be good enough. It's never going to be It's never going to be Empire Strikes Back. It's never going to be Return of the Jedi. And for me personally, I know everybody shits on the prequels, but it's never going to be the Phantom Menace, the VHS tape I got on my 5th birthday. That's why I fucking loved it so much. It's just childhood nostalgia, and we are not children anymore. So we're never going to be. Mark Hamill said this.
Could you guys cue in a little Sarah McLachlan real quick?
Mark Hamill said this.
Really passionate about this.
Mark Hamill said this in an interview. He said, this is a fucking movie. He didn't say fucking, but he said this is a movie. If you're going to see this movie trying to recapture your childhood, it's not gonna fucking happen. He's
also gone on record several times, kind of half-assedly saying, like, I did not agree with this depiction of Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whatsoever.
I'm sure he's fucking pissed.
Yeah,
I'm sure he's pissed off.
Yeah, he gets like
everything he's built.
That's why he called it a goddamn laser sword.
Yeah. Oh, I hate that.
That pissed me off.
That was terrible. That was like, it just totally destroyed the mirage of Star Wars for me,
Yeah,
because I never would have imagined.
The point.
You know what they should do though is fuck having J.J. Abrams direct Episode 9. Bring the motherfucker in who directed Rogue One. I feel like he could make a badass true Star Wars film.
Yeah.
Bring in anybody.
I don't know who directed.
I
that
don't
one?
care.
I can't remember his name. But Rogue
It
One
was
cool.
he had a cameo. What the fuck was his
In The Last Jedi.
It's some
Yeah.
it's
He
some
did,
like
the
Spanish
director?
dude. Isn't it Spanish dude?
name? No, what the hell?
What was the cameo?
I thought it was like started with a G.
Rogue One. What the fuck was
His name. That wasn't his name, was it?
No. God damn it. Well,
Look it up. Go ahead.
Yeah,
look
go
it
ahead,
up.
look
I
it
kind
up.
of
We got
want
time.
to see it.
who directed Rogue One? Gareth Edwards.
Wow, Siri. Matt Milligan's fucking Siri.
So
Anyways.
that's apparently like Kevin from The Office.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely, I guess. But if you guys don't mind, I'd like to go ahead and wrap it up. We went long. We went probably. It's fine. Whatever. It's totally fine. But that is
all of it.
That is our depiction and our thoughts about The Last Jedi episode 9.
Episode
8.
Eight.
Yeah. Sorry. The Roman numerals throw me
He
off.
calls himself a true Star Wars.
I've never called myself a true Star Wars fan. I am a Star Wars fan. I prefer Lord of the Rings, but that's for a different time.
Oh fuck! God.
Anyways, thank you for watching the 20th episode of Beside the Point. Matt, Chip, thank you for being here. Do not forget to like or subscribe. Preferably subscribe. Thank you, guys.
Thank
See ya.
you.